going for tests. So if you have more women going for tests, then you're going to get large numbers. If all the men can be tested, possibly you can get a surprise. We might have huge numbers of men, who are positive. So you find, and this is the issue, Asulta. Women are the ones who are going to give birth. Yeah. And so when they go there, they have to get tested. Even if they don't, they get tested. True. Men, they are not near the clinic, so they won't come unless if they are requested to come. And the other thing you have noted with men is that they rarely go to the hospital, even when they are sick. Yeah. And so, unless now they're totally very sick. So, I can say if the men can be tested properly, all of them, we are more likely to have huge numbers of men.
So, properly, it should be done properly.
Yeah, properly. If you have high numbers. And it's good to be tested because you get to know if you are negative, you get to know how to take care of yourself. If you are positive, we are going to advise you on how to live positively like any other person. And it's very much possible.
That's true.
Yes.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Asumta Banta. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being with us here today. Today we have a very special guest with us, Pastor Bosco. He's the regional coordinator at Care for AIDS organization. So today's topic is going to be about what does HIV and AIDS mean to Kenya? What does it mean to Kenya? So thank you so much for joining us here today. We are very delighted to have you here at this place, at this avenue, our studio here. So thank you for being here with us. Would you kindly introduce yourself to our audience and just give us a general overview of what your title entails and what the organization stands for?
Thank you so much for the opportunity just to join you. It's a privilege actually to be here and getting an opportunity just to share with your viewers and people that watch your channel and share with you a little bit about HIV in Kenya and what we do as an organization. I work with an organization called Care for AIDS, and that is the name we have been using for the last 14 years, but we are changing it to a name called UNTOLD. So this is something that is happening gradually. I serve as a regional coordinator, and in Nairobi, Kenya, we have 3 regions. We have Nairobi West, we have Nairobi South, and Nairobi East. And basically, I'm in charge of Nairobi South, which is comprising of 10 churches, which we call 10 centers. And when I talk about centers, these are the places where the people that we serve, we support, come for assistance, for spiritual support, and many other things that I'm going to mention that we do. And so Care for AIDS is an organization that started 14 years ago, and mainly is a Christian organization that works with churches, and basically they work to support people who are living with HIV/AIDS, just to work with them, encourage them, and help them to have hope and even to trust God. So basically that is what we do.
Oh, that's nice. So you're changing your name to UNTOLD. Has it happened yet, or is it gradually happening? Will it happen by next year, or when is it happening?
It has actually started happening in the US, where we get our funding. It's already begun being used. And so in Kenya, we are in the next 2 to 3 months, we will be on, and so it will be officially out, and that is the name we'll be using going forward.
So what is the criteria of the people who receive services, apart from them being HIV/AIDS positive? What other thing what makes them qualify to receive the services, and which services do they receive from the organization?
Like I said, the organization supports people who are living with HIV/AIDS, and basically one of the qualifications is someone who is living with HIV, who is HIV positive, someone who has been tested and they are positive. That is the number one qualification. There are other things that we look for, but mainly we focus on people who are living with HIV/AIDS. And when they come, we are able to focus and help them, empower them spiritually and economically. Those are the main areas that we basically focus as an organization. And we look forward to empowering these people to live a holistic life in every area. And we just want to show them some love.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So UNTOLD it is. It's UNTOLD, not Care for AIDS. So thank you so much for being here with us today. We are very, very grateful for you joining us here today. So would you briefly explain to us what led you to this path?
Basically, I am a pastor, And I became a pastor when I was quite young, around 21 years old. So I've been serving as a pastor, a youth pastor. And then along the way, I am this kind of pastors who are so much focused just serving within the church. But then I did my diploma in theology in a Baptist school. We call it Kenya Baptist Theological School at Limuru. Then along the way, I got an opportunity to further my studies. I went to St. Paul's University, did Bachelor of Divinity. And while I was doing that course, I did a course that focuses on community work. And I realized that you can still serve in the church and still serve in the community. For me, I was so much confined serving in the church, but now I got another angle that your service is not limited as a pastor at the church. You can also be able to serve within the community. And then along the way, I had some friends who are working with Care for AIDS organization, and we were in touch. I was following on what they do, and I heard there was a vacancy, and I applied for the vacancy. I got the position, and I've been serving with this organization for the last 8 years. So that is how I got to join the organization. But I knew about what they were doing. I loved what they were doing because they were really reaching out to a group of people that churches were not reaching, because most of the churches were not, go to many of the churches, they have nothing to do with HIV. They have women program, youth program, but they don't have programs for people who are living with HIV AIDS. And so I felt this was an opportunity for me to serve the community, and especially serve the people that are really stigmatized with HIV. So that is how I found my path to serve with this organization.
How are you finding it so far after 8 years? How has the journey been when you started and right now? How is the whole experience for you?
The journey has been so good. I think one of the most fulfilling things is to see the life of somebody being changed, is to see that someone has been empowered spiritually. And when I talk about spiritually, someone has been able to be helped to be close to their maker. They walk closely with their maker. And then apart from that, I'm one of the people who normally say that we pastors, we are preaching to people to go to heaven, but they're not going to go to heaven tomorrow. They have a life to live here.
Yeah.
And so as much as you share with them about heaven, tell them what they need to do to generate money for them to take care of their families, for them to take care of themselves. So when we empower them spiritually, and we also empower them physically, show them how to make money, that one inspires me. I'm so happy. It's more than anything else. So for the last 8 years, I know of people's life who have been transformed, and they are now living wonderful lives. They're able to make money for themselves. They're able to take care of their families. They're able even they're connected to the church, and they are working very well. So I'm very happy. So that has been so encouraging to me on a personal level.
What do you mean when you say you help them make money? What exactly do you do?
Yeah, basically, like I said, from the word go, we empower them economically. And even as we empower them economically, we teach them skills that they can do on a local way. Like, for example, we teach them baking. And when we're teaching them baking, we don't come with an oven, because many of them, they can't be able to get money to buy an oven. But we're able to teach them how to make a cake using a charcoal jiko in a very simple way. We teach them candle making, we teach them peanut butter making, and they don't need a lot of capital. They just need some little bit of money just to begin that. And so if I teach you baking, that is money. You're able to make money. You're able to, I normally tell them that the first customer is themselves.
Yeah.
So you can bake a cake for yourself or your family. Then the next customer will be your neighbor. Mm-hmm. Some will refuse to buy your cake, but just don't worry about them. Go to the next person.
That's true.
So that is where they get their money, and some of them are doing very well, and we are empowering them to take care of their families, and so that they can be able to have hope, pay their rent, be able to get food for their families, and even be able to pay school fees. That money comes from such kind of skills that we offer to them.
Oh, that's very, very good. That's so good. So given that the organization is based around HIV/AIDS, I'm sure at some point you have thought of the origin of HIV/AIDS. What kinds of conclusions have you drawn based on the research and your experience generally?
HIV was discovered, some of the cases that we have that were done discovery, it's as early as 1959 in the world. But basically in Kenya, HIV cases were first reported between 1982 to 1984, and there are so many theories about where it came from. It has not been very official. If you search, you'll be able to see so many theories about it. But one of the reliable theories they have is that there were cases of HIV traced in some monkeys from Kinshasa, Congo. That is a trace people are able to bring out. How did it come? They say that some people were eating monkeys and such kind of things. So there is no conclusive like where it came from. So I'm not able to say here publicly that it came from this particular place. However, regardless of where this disease came from, I think like many other diseases, we just got to stand in with the people who are living with HIV and support them and even work with them and see how can we be able to make their lives better, how can we be able to support them, how do we ensure that they live like any other person who is not sick or any other person that is suffering from any other disease. So basically that's how I can be able to say about it.
Oh, that's true. Thank you. So with you being a pastor and you being a Christian, so has your perspective about HIV/AIDS changed, or has it remained the same since you embraced this new role of yours?
Assumpta, it really changed, because before that, like I said, I was just serving in the church. We had zero focus on people who are living with HIV. I could hear cases of people who are living with HIV within the church, or I knew some friends. But now working with this organization, it basically gives you an opportunity to understand and interact with people who are living with HIV and get to see what are some of the challenges that they go through. And so for me, the perspective has changed. I've been able to learn so much about HIV, so much on how we can be able to support people who are living with HIV. But the key thing is that we just need to love them. I've been one of the people who have advocated that every pastor should do something for people who are living with HIV, because where are they? I mean, they're in the churches, they're within where you stay, they are our brothers, they are our sisters, they are with us everywhere. And so we just need to find out how do we need to support them. So for me, my perspective has changed in terms of making sure that we support them like the way we support any other person. I mean, in any church, let us budget for them. Let us see how we can be able to support them with whatever little. You may not be able to do like what this organization is doing, but in whatever capacity you're able to do, just see how are you going to support them. So my perspective has changed in a very positive way, and I'm willing to support people who are living with HIV at any cost.
Oh, that's good. So support is the main thing.
Yes.
Support is the word here for the day. What's the ratio of men to women who receive services at your organization?
When we began the organization, the biggest number we had was women. And basically, not that we don't have men who are infected with HIV/AIDS, we do have them, but men tend to shy off from such kind of grouping. When you bring a group together and you say you're supporting them, for them they feel like, that is for the ladies alone. Basically, now we are focusing at 60 women and 30 or 20 men. It will depend with the area, but men have been shying off from joining this program.
So why do you think women are not shy or men are shy? Is it the ego, or why is it like that?
Now men, I'm telling you, there is an aspect of ego, and let me tell you, not only in such kind of grouping, look at men. I mean, you can't trace where they are. I mean, go to any place, they are nowhere, but we know where they are. We know where they are, and that is not where they're supposed to be. They tend to shy off from any groups that are empowering groups, and women tend to come out. So there's that aspect of ego. There's an aspect of feeling like they can take care of themselves. But I normally say that if there is a group or a person who can be able to add value in your life, just be close to them. I know they'll be able to support you. And I just want to ask men, kindly just come out. Just come, and there are people who are willing to support you, like in this organization. Actually, if two men come and there's one lady, we are more likely to pick the two men so that they can be able to join the program.
So men, you are encouraged to join the organization, or just be free. Don't have ego. Just be free, be you, and get the support that you need if you are in a position that you require support. So what kind of contraction trend have you noticed? What kind of type of contraction trend have you noticed?
There is I mean, there is no big difference when it comes to comparison, like in terms of infection. I mean, the infection has been different from different places. The contraction has been a bit different from different places. Actually, it depends with the areas. We have some areas whereby we have possibly many men being infected or many ladies being infected.
So what's the higher percent? Are the men contracting it more or the women contracting it more?
Now, there's a debate on that, but most of the time the statistics we have gotten is the women. We are seeing high numbers in ladies than men, and basically one of the explanations that has come out is because of the way women, the biological setup of a lady, and we all understand it. That has made to have many cases of women who are HIV positive, but we also have high numbers. But again, the other truth is this one: we are having more women going for tests. So if you're having more women going for tests, then you're going to get large numbers. If all the men can be tested, possibly can get a surprise. We might have huge numbers of men, I mean, who are positive. So you find, and this is the issue, Assunta. Women are the ones who are going to give birth.
Yeah.
And so when they go there, they have to get tested. Even if they don't, they get tested. True. Men, they are not near the clinic, so they won't come unless if they are requested to come. And the other thing you have noted with men is that they rarely go to the hospital, even when they are sick.
Yeah.
And so unless now they're totally very sick. So I can say if the men can be tested properly, all of them, we are more likely to have huge numbers of men.
So properly, it should be done properly.
Yeah, properly. If you have high numbers, and it's good to be tested because you get to know if you are negative, you get to know how to take care of yourself. If you are positive, we are going to advise you on how to live positively like any other person.
Considering that HIV/AIDS individuals also want to contribute to society, they want to partake in relationships with others, and they want to start their own families or continue building their own great families. How do you go about providing awareness as well as solutions to HIV positive individuals without suppressing the lives of the most at-risk groups?
When we recruit people to our program, one of the key things that we are normally aware of is that we have people that know their status and they can speak openly about it, and that is a very small fraction of number. We have another bigger group that people got tested recently and they got to know their status recently, and what we try to do from the word go is we maintain the privacy of, the confidentiality of these clients, so we don't expose them. We tell them that you are here, we are here to support you, but we want to work with you until that point when you can be able to speak about your status openly. And so we just work with them. We don't expose them unless someone wants to share their status. And so that one makes sure that they are really confident because stigma is very high. So we try to make sure that we reserve their confidentiality and work with them. They contribute through, because if one of the people comes to our program, one of the key things that we make sure we do is that we have teachings. We teach them the word of God. We tell them they should not infect, because if someone comes to the program and they are being involved with, they're having several sexual partners, they're sleeping with everyone else here and there, chances are they're going to be infecting so many people. When they come to the program, we tell them, if you are married, remain to your partner. If you're not married, kindly don't go around engaging with anyone, because they'll be spreading. So through that, you'll realize they are not spreading the disease they're supposed to do. And then the other thing is for them living positively, being examples, and then taking care of their family. And that's let me mention something here. One of the key focus here we do as an organization is orphan prevention. Okay. Now, when I talk about orphan prevention, is basically we want to take care of these adults so that they can live long and take care of their children.
And I have another question. Is it a requirement, since the organization is based around the church, as we have noticed by now, is it a requirement for someone to be saved for them to receive the services?
There's that assumption, even when you are recruiting people to come. I know some people come to the church, and basically I'm one of the key people. When they come, when they are very new, I talk to them about the organization. I tell them this is what we do. And there are some of them who are tempted to get saved because they're in the program, and then after the program they go back to their normal life. So it's not a requirement. Actually, It's not a requirement, because the issues of salvation are very personal. It depends with the conviction of the Holy Spirit. So the church is there as a shelter. However, when they are there, many of them change their lives. So it's not a requirement. Actually, Asunta, what I have not told you is that we have programs in Mombasa.
Okay.
We have programs in Kilifi. We have programs in Kisumu. We have these programs in Uganda, Tanzania, Mwanza.
So East Africa, you're going to
yes,
the
East
whole
Africa.
East Africa.
Actually, we're going to South Africa.
Oh, nice.
So if you go to Mombasa, you notice out of the 80 people, we are more likely to have like 50 of them are Muslims.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and so they come to our program. I mean, this program is for the community. So they come and they are there with us. They get the support. We respect what they believe. So it's not a must for you to be a Christian.
So how do you deal with the Muslims, for instance? Do you pray with them? Do you just do the normal prayer and what? Okay, I don't understand when it comes to that.
I think one of the key things that I've noted of late in Kenya, there is a lot of tolerance in terms of different beliefs. And so what happens is that they'll come to the church. Possibly at times when you are singing, they may decide to sit down or stay outside until the sermon is done. But they come and interact with us. There are some who will even come in and even sing with us. I mean, it depends on the personality. But with the time, we just encourage that tolerance, because even when they come, we respect what they believe. So it's not a big deal. And like I said, this is a community program, just like the way the government has got community programs. So when we go there, we want to make sure that we serve everyone, even people who are not from Muslims. I mean, sometimes you may even find other groupings that are there, people who don't believe in God. I mean, they are there, but we just want to make sure that we are able to serve all of them, regardless of their religion, regardless of what they believe. The program is there to support every one of them.
Oh, that's very, very, very good. You should keep that in mind. So, if there's one misconception that skew people about HIV and AIDS, what's that misconception that you've heard?
There are so many misconceptions. And I know viewers, I know even you have some of them.
Yeah.
But the biggest one, which I've noticed, that there are people who think when you get HIV, you're dead. That is a big lie. Actually, from my own observation, people who are living with HIV actually are living very healthy lives. The reason for that is because they know what to eat. They are getting medicine, ARVs, they are getting them, they are taking care of themselves. They are really very keen on their health. And some of them are living for quite a long, they are living very fulfilled life. People are not HIV positive. I mean, people don't care. They're kind of, I'm okay, so one of the misconceptions is the aspect of death. So if you're HIV positive, that is not true. You can live long.
What is your response to this misconception? What would, apart from telling people to get help, like this misconception, actually it contains one's perspective about things. You find yourself, you're HIV positive, and you're like, okay, you said, okay, people think that you're dead, and they start to deteriorate even more. They become even more sick. So what would you tell someone who thinks like that and they found themselves having that they're positive? What would you encourage them to do?
I know it's always a challenge. The stigma is quite high, and even when I'm saying people should just come out and seek for help, the stigma is quite high. But I just want to encourage, if you're there, because of the intervention of medicine, it's available, the government offers it. People are living a healthy life, and what the medicine does for your body is that basically it ensures that the virus are not multiplying, they are suppressed, and so you find you're able to live healthy. And most of the time you don't die from HIV. If you die, it is basically other diseases. They come to your body and they find there's no protection. What the medicine does, it just comes and makes sure that the virus is dormant. And then even sometimes it can even go to negative. You find it's still there, but it's not detectable.
Okay.
You're not able to, so it is very much suppressed, and so that person is able to live a long life. You have one life to live, and because you have one life to live, just accept it has happened and seek help. It's your life. I know sometimes we are kind of, what are people going to say? They will say, but it can't help by just listening to them. Just seek help, and there are many places where you can be able to seek help. And even those places where you go to seek help, there is a lot of confidentiality until that moment when you're able to come out and speak about your status.
I've seen on social media or around people saying that just talking, even on Instagram, that once they noticed that they were HIV positive, they started to just engage in sexual activities with other people just to infect them. Because I think those people, I don't know. So what would you say in such a situation to those kinds of people who are actually doing that, knowing that this person is healthy, but they're just doing this to spite other people since they got it?
Yeah, I think the first thing I would tell them, God is watching, so don't just go out infecting people. It is not right. I mean, if you get to know your status, I mean, protect yourself and protect other people. I mean, we should not spread it, and we should take care of other people. And then the other thing is this one. When you're HIV positive, there are various types. I mean, people don't know that, because there are people normally say, oh, I'm HIV positive, so I can just sleep around with anyone who is also HIV positive. No, there's something that we normally call reinfection. So you'll find that if you're HIV positive, I mean, and you want to sleep around with someone else which is HIV positive, they may be able to give you the other type, and you receive the other type, and different types are available. And that's why you find sometimes someone will die very quickly. I mean, because I receive what you have, I give you what I have, and so it becomes a big challenge. So just keep it to yourself, and there is a way you can be helped to be able to live long, but don't just take that point. And I know there are people who do that even in the social media. I mean, they say they're doing it and they're not doing it.
They're just saying.
They're just saying.
Yeah.
And if you know your status and you've got a friend, I mean, if you tell them that you love them, one of the best things that you can do to them is to tell them your status. Tell them this is the situation, and then you can find a way around it. Yes.
That's very, very good. So thank you so much for being with us here today. Thank you for joining us in this platform. We are very, very grateful to have you here with us. And I would like to thank you once more for just joining us here. Would you kindly give us a few last words about the topic in general, or if you have any other thing you'd like to add about the topic, just tell us.
Thank you so much for having me. Given another opportunity, I'll still come. We can discuss other things on the same topic or other topics. But the key thing I want to encourage all of us is that if you're HIV positive, I mean, seek out help. There's many people are willing to help. If you're not HIV positive, we normally say that you are either infected or affected. You have a brother, a sister, a mother, someone who is very close to you. So we just need to take care of people who are HIV positive, love them, support them, because this is a disease like any other disease, and they can be able to overcome it and to overcome their challenges. So let's just take care of them. Let us spread a lot of love to people who are living with HIV positive.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and we are very, very happy to have you here. And I know that you have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Or YouTube channels. So would you kindly inform our audience about your YouTube channel and how they can get a hold of you?
You can get me I have 2 YouTube channels. I do motivational talking. My YouTube channel, I call it Bosco Motivators TV. So if you search it, you'll be able to get it. You'll see this face there. And then I have another one that I call Moving Wheels News. I mean, that one I bring different contents. Just search for it, you'll be able to get it. You can also get me in Facebook. And you can also get me through my number. My number is 0727 893 900. We can be able to talk more and even engage in more other things. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I will put his details for his channel and his contact down in the description below. So if you want to get a hold of him, or if you want to check out his channel, you can just get a link down below. So thank you for being with us here today. We are very grateful. And comment down below by telling us, or by telling us your thoughts on this topic, and tell us about the misconceptions that you've heard about HIV/AIDS. So please comment down below, share the video, subscribe to this channel. If you have not subscribed, today is the day. Subscribe today. Like the video, share the video. This is a very informative topic, so you should share it with other people. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, Bye.